love radio scanning. You will not find anyone, I challenge you to find anyone that is more passionate about radio scanning than I am. 45 years old. I started when I was 10 years old. Some people think I was actually born with a Bearcat crystal handheld scanner in my hand. But I was just born, and I don't remember back that far, but I think there's a distinct possibility that a Bearcat 1 crystal scanner was in my hand the day I was born. I love scanning. I actively work as a fire dispatcher. I'm nationally certified in emergency dispatch, including air medical dispatch. I spent many years working as a professional firefighter and paramedic. And, as I said, I love radio scanning. And I know you do too, which is why you're here. Let's talk about the topic at hand, disaster scanning. An hour and a half ago, we had a national disaster that hit the United States, and it's sad. In Joplin, Missouri, in Jasper County, massive tornadoes leveled that area. I learned about this incident through a national paging database, and we're going to talk about that. It's the first hyperlink I'm going to give you. I'd like you to bookmark the following address, www.incidentpage, INCIDENTPAGE.net, www.incidentpage.net. I'm a subscriber on Incident Page. This is what occurred. There are dispatchers for Incident Page Network, known as IPN, all around the country. When those storms hit, that dispatcher got a dispatch out to a national network, and I was immediately notified. The moment I was notified on my BlackBerry device, I went to radioreference.com, logged into the feed, and I was one of the first people to listen to it. Right now, to give you an idea, I was within one of the first 1,000 people to hear the feed. Right now, there are 8,500 people actively monitoring this feed. Now, anytime a major incident occurs, if it's not in your geographic area, and you're not prone to disaster yourself, I would recommend the following, and let me let it reset. WX4ADX with the DSTAR radio scanning net. Now, again, if you're not in the storm area, it's not affecting you, you have power, and you're nice and comfy, and you're all safe, and everything's good, I definitely recommend subscribing to the service, incidentpage.net. Very, very powerful tool. How would I know in Orlando, Florida, laying in bed, watching golf on TV, and my BlackBerry goes beep, and I receive a national incident? I would have never, ever known the storms were moving through Joplin, Missouri. I immediately went to radioreference.com. In the upper left-hand corner, I clicked on Live Audio. I chose the state of Missouri. And for those of you that don't know, it's as simple as this. After going to radioreference.com, in the upper left-hand corner, there's a blue tab that says Home, Database, Live Audio. You click on Live Audio, and then you choose the map of the United States. For those of you that are poor in geography, Missouri is located in the central part of the United States. Its neighbor to the north is Iowa. To the south, it's Kansas. Excuse me, I apologize. To the south, it's Arkansas. So to the north, it's Iowa. To the south, it's Arkansas. To the west, it's Kansas. And to the east is Illinois. You click on the blue link, which is the blue portion of the state emblem for Missouri, and you see the shape of Missouri. You go in the very bottom left corner, which is McDonald County. 2 counties to the north is Jasper. The feed clearly showed me on my live text, and it basically said this: Jasper County is what it said, and it made reference to Jasper County, Joplin, tornado touchdown, West 20th and South Tyler Avenue, apartment complex heavily damaged, as well as St. Joseph's Hospital. Massive search and rescue, mass casualty response. Details to follow. Immediately after getting that page, I went to radioreference.com. As I told you, I went to the live feeds for Jasper County, and I was within one of the first 1,000 people to listen to it. There are over 8,000 people monitoring that feed right now. And as a result, I was able to hear very early communications. Let me just give you an idea of what I heard. WX4ADX with a DSTAR radio scanning net. I heard firefighters asking for multiple trauma helicopters. It was determined the local trauma helicopter was down because of weather. They were going to be sending trauma helicopters from adjacent states, not states. One of the firefighters was very, very shaken on the radio, and he said, has anyone driven by my house? Can they tell me if my house is still standing? Another firefighter had said, I talked to your wife, and your wife is okay. She's safe. It was mass chaos. There was an additional report of a woman who was entrapped in her motor vehicle with a large tree limb that had pierced through her body. They needed a doctor on the scene. They were coordinating medevac doctors. Very, very scary situation. I got a page from a friend that they just started coverage about 5 minutes later on the Weather Channel. Went to the Weather Channel. Apparently they had gotten on scene very quickly before CNN, Fox, ABC, NBC, and CBS, and got live footage while the firefighters were doing search and rescue. Very unbelievable scene to see. You're seeing live disaster that had happened, and with real-time reporting in this world, because of wireless technology, we're going to be able to see news more as it happens, with iPhones and video and people having, webcams and everything they do, with 4G broadband and high megapixel cameras and video. People have these little flip HD video cameras in their hands. Like I said, iPhones and other smartphones, Androids that can update information. Amazing as to how we can get information out real time. Then these scenes came. There are 24 confirmed dead at this time, and that number is expected to rise, which is very sad. They're in Joplin, Missouri. The scene is very much so chaos, but it was very, very amazing as a monitoring experience to monitor it and make notes here on my laptop about what was actually happening live. And through radio reference, what's really, really amazing is there are over 8,000 people listening to one feed, and it has not crashed the radioreference.com system. I cannot tell you how much it costs in computer infrastructure to make that happen. This is why radioreference.com is the leader in everything in scanning, why it's your complete reference source. From there, I went to the database, and I looked at the VHF system they were on. They use a VHF repeater, and they're migrating to a state system of VHF APCO 25. And then from there, I continue to follow it on incidentpage.net. WX4ADX, the DSTAR radio scanning net. So, what you've learned tonight in this educational session is during times of disaster, having a service like IncidentPage.net, which is very affordable, is a great way to know of national incidents in your monitoring, because you can't be everywhere at all times. IncidentPage.net is the largest in the industry. They do it very well. They have dispatchers that volunteer their time, confirm information by public safety, and get it out. Let me give you an example of a confirmation. If you were a IncidentPage.net dispatcher, and you're certified to be by them, you have to complete a training course and be recognized by them. What you would do is, I'll give you an example. Say there was a house fire in your local community and you were a dispatcher for them. You would have to listen on the scanner, and the moment that, say for example, a public safety official got on scene and said, Chief 1 on the scene, I have a residential single-story masonry block construction residential home that is 2,000 square feet inside, and I have flames showing from the roof at this time, and this is what equipment I need. That's a confirmation that a chief's on the scene and says, hey, I got a home that, flames are coming from the roof. So what happens is that dispatcher submits that information to IncidentPage.net, and as a result, it gets put out over a massive computer network. So in almost real time, you have the ability to see and learn of an event when it happens. Like I told you, I had no idea that this was happening out there, but I stopped what I was doing, and even before the news had it, I knew the news would have it. What happens? And excuse me, I chose to go to radioreference.com to listen to the live feeds. Because radioreference.com doesn't cover every city and every state. They cover a majority of them. If you see that area in blue, dark blue, that means there's monitoring in that community. If you're curious, only half the state of Missouri is covered for monitoring. If you see blocks, which are counties that are light blue, they're not covered for monitoring access. If you see them in dark blue, they are. Jasper, in the very southeast part of the state, happens to be covered. Let me let it reset. Right now, I'm hearing some really gruesome things on the air, which I'll let you listen to live, but certainly a very, very sad scene. I'm just listening in the background while I'm doing the net. But that is just some of the basic tips as a starter introduction to disaster monitoring. Having a subscription service is beneficial, but when you get notification, using a service like radioreference.com will enable you to listen when your physical antennas cannot reach that far. If you have any other questions on disaster scanning in general, you can always feel free to email me. I'm very responsive in email. So please keep your email courteous and to the point, and I'll be happy to help in any way that I can. Next week, if you look at my schedule on my blog at radioscanning.blogspot.com, we're going to be talking in depth about IPN. That's the subject. I may very well have a guest on air who is a ham. I'm in the process of coordinating that, who will actually tell us more about IPN as he is more directly associated with them and give us more of an educational presentation. But I'm in the process of coordinating a guest to be with us on air regarding IPN, and that is going to be the subject for next week. So join us next week in our educational session when we talk about incidentpage.net and we go into more detail. Now, does anyone have any questions regarding